to this farm and I looked around me and I thought, God, I love this land. It was an immediate connection for me when I saw this land from up on the hill. But I was really aware of how depleted it was. I looked around and I didn't see this vibrant, rich, biodiverse, healthy landscape. I saw a rough, rugged, beautiful one, but one that had lost a lot of its biodiversity. At a time when we're depleting so many natural resources and increasing the instability of our climate, we make ourselves and our planet really vulnerable. Soil is so important. It's where most of our food comes from. And if not managed correctly, it becomes a finite resource. That's where regenerative, sustainable farming is so important, because it actually has the potential to increase soil matter. The cows are in this field here, which has been planted up with forage rye. Once they've mob grazed an area, we move them back into this field where we've been buffer feeding them some haylage, and also they've been mob grazing normal grass lay in here. I'm kind of the provider. When I'm around, they know that either I might be moving them onto fresh grass. They associate me with usually good things. That's the plan. And the same with Piers. So when they see Piers and I, they'll start mooing at us or come towards us because they think, perhaps they're going to move us onto fresh pasture. I could say that I do take away an element of danger, which probably isn't so much part of their lifestyle, because actually in the wild, they'd have had foxes and wolves, lynxes preying on them that would have given them that edge of danger, would have kept them moving, kept them into close packs, helped them develop that relationship within their herd. The mob grazing kind of emulates that, creates a pressure on them so that they do stick together, they do have that herd instinct. This is an ancient landscape, and these stone walls, Cornish hedges, they are the remnants and the patterns that existed 4,000 to 6,000 years ago. Those farmers, those people would have started to build these walls to sort of differentiate and say, we're going to start working this land. It also sort of guides our thinking a little bit, because we kind of think, well, how did they do it? They had everything they needed in the landscape that they lived in. So, it's really just thinking about farming in a different way. I see, unfortunately, that the quick fix after the Second World War became the way we farmed. Considering that efficiency and productivity were the most important things, and not realising that actually that's working in a short term, but it's ruining our landscapes, and it's depleting the soils and reducing the resilience in the landscape. It's making us vulnerable. To me, our job is not to destroy, take away, erode, but to increase the biodiversity, the amount of topsoil for longevity. Fast forward to now, Piers and I are sort of farming in not a dissimilar way to what they did all those thousands of years ago, and I rather like that. I like that connection with our ancestors. In terms of everything being a collaboration of life, us here on this farm we're just here for our lifetimes, and then someone else is here for their lifetime, and there's all these beautiful crossovers, but what is a constant is our landscape. So I always consider that if we've been blessed to live here with a landscape that has supported and resourced us, then we need to plan for that to be the case in 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years' time. Seventh generation thinking, I just think is very important. What that looks like and how that is embedded, let's say a farm in Scotland or Wales or Northern England or whatever, should be different. Because we all need to be responding to the land that we live in. I didn't grow up in a farming community. My parents weren't farmers. And I grew up in a city. It's just that I knew from an early age that that was not my habitat. Being organic and farming more regeneratively, it's changed how I feel about farming. It's enabled me to see how many relationships there are that goes on in our landscape that we're just a part of, and how the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. I'd love for us to leave a landscape that is a regenerative food and resource ecosystem where we participate and collaborate and have a relational part to play, building abundance and resources for everything that we share the landscape with.